Well, hello. How's it going, friends? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. Hope you're doing well, friends. I really do hope that. And of course, welcome back to the studio and indeed Chelsea News, the near daily series where I reflect on what's been said about Chelsea, giving you my opinion on it, more importantly, asking for yours. It's popping off, boys, girls, ladies and gentlemen. It's nearly January transfer window. Chelsea are trying to build a more cohesive team while also getting players out the door. Today we're going to talk about Moukoko, what reports in Germany are saying how Chelsea are reportedly the closest to signing him. I also want to talk about Alister, the Argentinian World Cup winner. Of course, has been linked to Chelsea. It's been linked to loads of high-profile moves now. He's going to be about 65 million quid, reportedly. What he had to say on Graham Potter and what Graham Potter did in terms of making him the player he is. And Graham Potter's our manager, by the way. Chelsea Football Club. And N'Golo Kante to Barcelona. Remember, in a matter of days, N'Golo Kante and indeed Jorginho can sign pre-agreements with other clubs, pre-contracts to go sign for other clubs. And we're going to reference an article coming from Spain today. So there's lots to get into. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for dropping a like and subscribing and commenting and sharing and all that lovely stuff that you guys do to help me out. And you're welcome to click join and become a member below to get your badge and emojis, etc. etc. friends. You know what? Before we talk about Moukoko and before we talk about Alister and his comments, let's talk about N'Golo Kante. Sport Witness referencing, easy for me to say, an article coming from, funnily enough, a Catalan publication, Sport, about him wanting to sort out his future. Now, an update on Kante. He, of course, is just constantly having injuries. He had surgery, so he's out for a while. He's still doing rehab. I don't think he'll be ready for Bournemouth. I mean, I don't know where he is, actually, in terms of his recovery timeline. I'll have to double-check that. I know Graham Potter did give an update, but I think it's going to be a little while. Now, Chelsea, we get the feeling that we're looking to just go younger now, to build them where you need a high-octane, loads of running midfield. I think we'll look to just use the youth, whether it's, your Chukwuemakers, your Zakarians, your Cassidays, or, indeed probably another high-profile midfield signing. I can imagine we'll do that. I have a feeling we will extend Jorginho because he's the type of player who you utilize where you don't have to do a lot of running. You're like, right, we're going to have the ball and we need a steady head to just put his foot on the ball and pass it around. Perfect. Jorginho, he'll do that. But that might not be all games. That might only be like 40% of games. So he'll have to really accept a particular type of contract that maybe, pays him when he plays or something. We'll have to see what happens. This is all speculative to a degree, of course. Whereas Kante relies on his engine and his running rounds. So maybe Chelsea don't see a future with Kante, which is sad, especially if he's to go to Barcelona and play well. It will hurt, but these are these fine, difficult decisions that one needs to make when you're really trying to transform a club's, recent history and make us a little bit more long-term and holistic and actually have a process for once. Let's read this article from Sport Witness by a chap called Lucas Posito. As N'Golo Kante's contract with Chelsea expires at the end of this season, the midfielder apparently doesn't want to wait too long to swear out his future, understandably. Catalan outlet Sport today writes that the 31-year-old is, quote, in advanced negotiations, end quote, with Barcelona. He's pressing them to agree a pre-agreement contract in January, which, like I said, is days away now. It is said Kante is, quote, in a hurry to find a new club after Chelsea. He's said to have many options on the table, and if Barca don't take a decision, he's set to give other clubs, such as Juventus, a chance. Surely, Paris Saint-Germain would love him as well. The reason why the Camp Nou side aren't agreeing with him just yet is because manager Xavi wants Real Sociedad's Martin Zubimendi for that position. The problem is the Spaniard has a 60 million release clause, and the board think that's too big of an investment. Also, Barcelona are hella broke. Barca's directors would rather sign a free agent. Funny that. And among the many names on their list, Kante is considered to be the best. Well, of course he is. He is to be the one that, quote, generates more consensus between the board of the directors and the coaching staff. Well, He'll never cause a problem, everyone will love him, and he's a world-class, unique talent. But the Frenchman wants his future sorted out quickly, and the fact that Sport doesn't mention him staying at Chelsea, it sounds like he's already taken the decision that he wants to play somewhere else. Or he has to play somewhere else, I'd say. Interesting. It is tricky, this, isn't it? Because, like I said, he is an amazing player, but I think probably it's time to let him go, because what do? Do you give him a 4-year deal till he's 35 and he's just injured all the time and doesn't play, and we waste money and a squad spot on a young, talented player that could build into a high-profile player and play all the time? It's really, really tricky, so let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I think most of us now have aligned with the fact how it's probably time to end what has been a fantastic story. Shame how it ended with him just being injured for like 18 months or whatever it is, but it's still incredible for Chelsea. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and let's move on and talk about Alister. Well, he plays for Brighton, so of course he's been ruddy linked to Chelsea of late, as well as Tottenham and other players and stuff. He's 23 years old. He was excellent in the World Cup, including the final. And he's a kind of profile of midfielder that people want. He was recently interviewed speaking about Graham Potter. I don't know if it was post-win, but certainly the headlines have come out today. I'm reading this off HRTC.com. Argentina hero Alexis Mac Allister has reflected on his initial anger at Graham Potter for playing him as a defensive midfielder, while touching on how he improved his game. The Brighton and Hove Albion player showcased his class in the World Cup final, putting in arguably his finest performance of the tournament. He was excellent. Defensively, Mac Allister was simply everywhere, constantly winning the ball back and covering every blade of grass. Sounds like the aforementioned N'Golo Kante, just 9 or 8 or 9 years younger. I don't want to big him up too much. That's probably too high a praise. While on the ball, the Argentine midfielder showcased his usual silkiness and kept things ticking. However, that has not come to a surprise that to those of us who regularly watch him in the Premier League. Also, he got an assist, didn't he, for the Di Maria goal. Especially this season, the World Cup winner has been different gravy as a defensive midfielder. What is this article? Despite being an attacking midfielder by trade, Graham Potter's decision to make him deeper before coming Chelsea's boss was nothing short of a masterstroke. And Mac Allister's form has not seen a dip, even after Roberto De Zerbi's appointment as Seagull's boss. So, Argentina hero Mac Allister discussed his anger with Graham Potter, shifting him as a defensive midfielder. So he told the Mail this: "I wanted to kill him, but that's part of football." However, the Brighton midfielder has credited the Chelsea boss for improving him. "He was very helpful, improving my versatility and my physicality. I'm a much better player today because of it, so I thank him a lot." So initially it seemed bizarre that Graham Potter decided to utilise such a skillful player like Mac Allister as a number 6. Of course, watching him gallivant forward and assist Di Maria and combine with Lionel Messi as testament to his skill and ability. However, Mac Allister has admitted himself he's a more complete player in this deeper role. Now, Chelsea want a defensive midfielder or another midfielder of high profile. If you give options to Chelsea current boss Graham Potter, he would, Mac Allister's just been waxing lyrical about Graham Potter, making him the player that he is today, this World Cup winner. If you offered Graham Potter, do you want that guy? He'd probably say, hell yes. And Mac Allister, you'd think, would have to be interested in himself to come to Chelsea. He's being linked with Tottenham as well, but why come to Tottenham when you can, come to Chelsea, the club that wins trophies? He is of the age profile 23, so he'll be knocking around for a while and could be a long-term option. I hadn't really considered him myself personally because I feel like so much because I've got this PTSD Chelsea fan thing of just seeing us so weak in transition when the ball gets turned over and they just walk for us and score goals. I've just been begging for Declan Rice. Also, the fact how Declan Rice can pass long diagonals and stuff like that and knock the ball about. So, and the fact how he'll be cheaper They'll probably be about the same price now, actually, McAllister and Declan Rice. They'll probably be both around 70 million, I think. Certainly, Fabrizio Romano is quoting 65 and above for McAllister, World Cup winner, which, might seem more alluring than that. But, of course, Declan Rice has been very, very high profile and high performing in the Premier League for a while now as well. Both 23, I think, for both similar age. Tricky. Let me know what you think about McAllister. Is this a player that Chelsea should go in for, or should we look elsewhere in terms of defensive midfield? Let's move on. Now, there are stories saying Chelsea are considering loaning a striker for 6 months just while Armando Broja is out. And that would kind of make sense, I suppose, because then they can really use the better summer transfer market and find additional, more long-term solutions in terms of rebuilding their attack. And by then, as well, they'll know a little bit better of, how well is Aubameyang settling in this Chelsea team as a striker? How well have we utilised Amari Hutchinson in the front three enough? Little things like that. Like, how well is this attack doing now? We've got a bigger sample size of the Chelsea functionality, which, of course, we're massively lacking at the moment, moving forwards. And then you'll be in a better position to make better educated decisions. But despite that, I think we're going to get an attacker regardless, whether it's a permanent or a loan. But Chelsea have been referenced by Sky Germany journalist Mark Berenbeck, talking about Youssoufa Moukoko yet again. So, of course, this is actually coming from Germany. And, of course, he's a German player playing in the Bundesliga. Let's have a little read. I'm going to cite the Chelsea Chronicle here. Jack Drury's written this. Sky Germany journalist Mark Berenbeck has claimed Chelsea are currently the favourites to sign Borussia Dortmund striker Youssoufa Moukoko. The Blues have been strongly linked with making a move to sign a teenager who is set to become a free agent in the summer. There's been speculation that he was unwilling to sign a new deal with Dortmund, opening up a move to a new club. Moukoko has recently been at the World Cup with Germany, where he broke the record for being the youngest player to ever feature in their side at the tournament. Now, Berenbeck has claimed Chelsea are in a far better position to secure the signing of the Dortmund man than any of their interested rivals. Now, that is positive news coming from the German journalist. He said this, quote, "It is clear that a lot of top clubs are asking about Moukoko and are keen on him, as well as him being, of course, available as a free transfer in the summer, and would be a bargain. We hear that Chelsea are the closest. There have already been negotiations and talks. More clubs, Manchester United, Liverpool, Barcelona, and Newcastle, Newcastle are always going to be there now. I need to get to a point where I no longer think that's weird, are on the list. But Chelsea is the hottest, and and others aren't ready yet. Todd Boehly is acting quickly, which is a common theme, of course, since he's come to Stamford Bridge. So the article goes on, he seemingly secured the deal for Christopher Nkunku from Leipzig, despite there being plenty of time left in the season. While he will no doubt strengthen their front line, they may still be keen to bring an outright striker to Stamford Bridge. I think so, personally, because, again, we've said it before, Havertz isn't a striker, and Aubameyang is going to be 42. So, yes, there's very, very, very interesting indeed. Basically, we're going to have a 3-man squad of just like teenage superstars, and I'm here for it. I'm just bored of I want the young, hungry, no ego players. I've watched a little bit more of Youssoufa Moukoko. He looks very, very exciting indeed. But could we have a front three of Broja, Hutchinson, and Moukoko, or whoever else? God, there's a crazy storm outside. You won't be able to hear it on the microphone, but I can hear it. My office is almost shaking. It's great news. These stories will heat up more and more in the coming days as we get into past Christmas and as that January window opens up. Chelsea will be linked to a lot of people, whether it's midfielders, forwards, whether it's permanents, whether it's loans, whether it's Kante signing a pre-agreement with Barcelona, whether it's Hakim Ziyech getting his move to Milan or Ajax, whether it's Christian Pulisic, who's reportedly focused on Chelsea to the rest of the season. I think if Pulisic was to go, it'd be this summer. lots to get into. I'm very interested in reading the comments from you guys, so make sure you do express yourselves down in the comment section below and converse with each other. Why not? Thank you for dropping a like on the video, and you're welcome to subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's video, friends. So keep it locked, turn the bell on, and see you soon. Peace.